True or false? Finding your Ikigai helps you stay motivated in your creative work. Ikigai, or a reason for being, is a Japanese concept referring to the idea of happiness in living. And it's often associated with these 4 overlapping circles, or a Venn diagram, that labels with what you love, what the world needs, what you can be paid for, and what you're good at. Now, I was super excited about this, so I shared this on my Instagram myself, and a couple people actually commented on it saying that this is not Ikigai. And I was like, what? No way. Like, I read this in a book and I was really excited about it, so I thought I would share. But I wanted to do my own research and figure it out and just learn a little bit more about the source of where Ikigai comes from. In this BBC article, they mention the origin of the word Ikigai actually goes back to the Heian period, which is 794 to 1185. And the part of the word Ikigai, or gai, comes from the word kai, which means shell in Japanese. They valued that word and it was deemed highly valuable, so from there, Ikigai derived as a word that means value in living. Other words that use kai are yarigai or hatara kigai, which means the value of doing and the value of working. So those are closer aligned with work, and Ikigai can be thought of as a comprehensive concept that incorporates such values in life. So it's a little bit more overarching. They also found in a survey between 2,000 Japanese men and women, only 31% of those people considered work as their Ikigai. So the reality is that Ikigai may have more to do with the small, enjoyable things about life that could include work, but it doesn't always include work. So how did this Venn diagram get associated with Ikigai? In 2014, this guy named Mark Venn actually created a blog post, and it was inspired very much by his watching of a TED Talk by Dan Buettner, How to Live to Be 100 Plus. And this TED Talk was all about Ikigai. And he combined this with another Venn diagram that he saw, which was originally created in Spanish by author and astrologer Andres Zuzunaga, and it was originally called Propósito, or a Venn diagram of purpose. Now it was created in 2011. So Mark Venn took the concept of Ikigai, this concept of purpose, combined them together and published them into a blog post in 2014. In 2017, he confessed that it was just a meme that he created based off of these things and that people have been reaching out to him, but he thought it was really funny that he was getting attributed for this idea when in reality, he created something new by taking 2 existing concepts together. So that's how you get Ikigai and these Venn diagrams associated with each other. And so it's not exactly Ikigai, but what's great about this idea and this meme is that it actually has helped a lot of people consider all these different areas in which they should focus on in their life. And I fell in love with it too. I used it for myself. I look at what I love, calligraphy, dancing. I looked at what the world needs and what people were asking me about, which is like typography and teaching Zumba classes, things that I can get paid for, which is graphic design, as well as calligraphy and flow arts are things that I'm good at and that I enjoy to do. The problem now is figuring out how these activities give us motivation. And the answer is in the overlap. Now, add in the approach called Start With Why. This is a concept that is introduced by Simon Sinek in his book, Start With Why, as well as in his TED Talk. And that's where I first saw the video of him introducing his concept on the golden circle. You might be familiar with Simon Sinek's Start With Why, and he introduces in his TED Talk and his book this concept of the golden circle, where it starts with 3 circles that have what on the outside, how in the inner circle, and why in the innermost circle. And his concept is very much focused that if you are able to understand your why and the purpose and being able to communicate that to others, people will be able to understand and help buy into what you're trying to do. They're going to also support you in your methods and your goals. So I read the whole book, but I was still completely lost because I was just like, how do I find my purpose? How do I even get started? And so I waited for a while, and eventually they came out with a sequel called Find Your Why. Even though Start With Why introduces these concepts of the importance of your why, this book kind of walks you through that whole process. So I reached out to one of my friends to go on this purpose discovery with me, and this is the same activity that I walk through my own coaching clients to organize their work. If you want to learn more about how your purpose statement can help you organize your work, check out this free training where I walk you through the 3-step process that I help my clients through to build a personal knowledge system based off of your purpose statement so that you can do more of the work that you love. To go through the purpose discovery, you start with what you are doing. So very much you're going through all these different stories, these different experiences, and all of these different events that really helped influence you as a person, whether it be positive experiences or negative ones. Regardless of those, they had a profound impact on shaping who you are. And this whole process with somebody that you trust, it's easier for that person to identify what about these stories do they have connections to each other? What is that thread that ties them all together? So the next step from that is just asking questions about what did these events influence you to do, or what did it change and how did you feel about it? Because that's how you ultimately understand how your values start to be shaped, or what influences the way that you approach your choices. Now, the more that you do this, the more of a map you can create for yourself of all of these stories, the more threads you can connect, and the more repetition you'll find in all of these stories, you'll start to see and connect those to a greater why. And that's exactly what we did, is that we started to see all of these different patterns that connected, and also recognizing what happened a lot. And from there, she was able to tell me exactly all of these different values that came up frequently based off of all of these things these stories have in common. So for me, my purpose is that I help creative businesses and individuals organize their ideas so that they can communicate with confidence. And so that is something that I can associate with all that I do in my work as a Notion creative consultant, as a coach helping individuals, even as a graphic designer helping figure out what that message is so that I can bring that completely into my work. Everything about our purpose has to be our own decision and our own choice to pursue. And that's one of the things that Ikigai does not have, why even Start With Why might not have, but it ultimately starts with you. And if you've already figured out your purpose statement and you're ready to learn more about how to set career goals, you can check out the next video, which is about organizing your creative goals for the new year so you can actually get them accomplished. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.